Okay, this is Vulgus for the arcade. This is the very first Capcom video game in history. Alright, Capcom video game history started in 1984, not before. Alright? Well, as you can see, Vulgus is a very simple shoot 'em up, sorry. It has no ending as pretty much all the games from first half of the 80s. It doesn't have a fixed amount of levels either. It's just one big level divided into different sections. You have to be fighting these enemies on Earth, and then you are going to space for a little bit. Then you come back to Earth to fight more enemies, different kind of enemies. Eternal loops, you know that. So I'll be playing this for around 15-20 minutes for you to see how much progress I can make. But basically the game finishes when you lose all your lives. But now I'm using the infinite life cheat for you to see, or for me to make a better progress. Even so, when I die, I start from a checkpoint. It doesn't have a continuation feature, which is kind of acceptable back then. But it's quite general in terms of checkpoints. And it's not that hard, as you can see. I haven't died yet. I'm gonna be dying definitely a couple of times for sure. Probably more than a couple of times. Do you see these stars? These red circles with these stars on it? Well, that's the origin of that item in a lot of Capcom games. These were originally enemies in this game. You know, it has a Japanese name, I always forget it, but this symbol normally represents the full energy recovery in a lot of games. A lot of Capcom games, especially from the 80s, and also some few from the 90s. So yeah, obviously the existence of that item had to have an explanation. Well, that's the explanation. It was an enemy in the very first Capcom game, Vulgus. So we are in space now. Space section. Very short, by the way. Some enemies change, yeah, but for the most part we have these giant things, whatever they are, repeated. So yeah, this is from 1984. In that year Capcom made several games, some of them very successful, some others not very known. Well, this is not very known, but it's the first one, that's why it has to be considered as a fucking awesome classic, right? And it's not bad at all, it plays very well, the controls are very fair, very interesting. The difficulty is fair as well, even if I'm failing because I'm an idiot, but not because the game is a dick. I mean, I'm surprised this is one of the few shoot 'em ups from first half of the 80s in which I can perform in an acceptable way up to a certain point. Well, let me continue. I was mentioning Capcom games from 1984. We got obviously probably the most recognized shoot 'em up. 1942, we have Pirate Ship Higemaru, probably not very known, but I'll be playing it today as well. It will be available for you to see how it looks like. It has a certain amount of levels and then it gets repeated, but you will be watching pretty much all the initial levels. It's a fun game. It's a really fun game, to be honest. Didn't have an official port on any console. I mean, I'm gonna be explaining that when the time comes, but what other game? Well, Son is also a Capcom game from 1984. I played it a couple of days ago. Probably you watched it. Probably I'm forgetting something in there. Games from 1984, not sure, but yeah, those were pretty much the oldest Capcom games in history. As you can see, I'm dealing with some black squares. I cannot destroy them when in the form of a square, but while they are flying I can destroy them. You see? So this is pretty much the second section on Earth, over the sea this time. with some different enemies. We can consider this the second level perhaps, but as I said before, it's not divided into levels, it's just a one big level with different sections on it. This will be eventually getting repeated, probably. And if I fail too much, yeah, these big enemies actually make me nervous. I should get rid of them first than anyone else. You see, because they return, they don't go. Well, now they're gone, but they're very annoying for the most part. Oh, piss. Yeah, but I got another checkpoint. You see, the game it's fair in that respect. I kill it quickly. That's good.